Hi everyone, welcome back to Cozy Corner Chats. I'm your host Caitlin, and today we're talking all about being alone. I know, it's kind of sucky. It does. It sucks when we're alone because so many people are being afraid of being alone, being with themselves, because we've been in toxic relationships or environments for a really long time. So we're going to talk about it, why it's important, why I think it's important, and what I've learned on my journey. I'm going to encourage you to grab a pen and a piece of paper and come back to this when you are ready to take some notes, or just rewatch this. Watch it one time and then come back and rewatch it. I used to feel like my healing journey, me in my isolation period, was punishment. I felt like the universe was punishing me and I was alone. And it actually turned out to be one of the greatest gifts of my healing journey. Being alone, not lonely, not abandoned, but truly intentionally and beautifully alone. So if you are in a quiet season right now, if you are in the in-between space, this podcast is for you. This is for you. I hope this resonates. I hope you find little nuggets along the way and find some good tools to add to your tool belt. As most of you know, I've been single a long time. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I've had situationships and maybe a relationship that was never defined. So, call that what it is. And although I've had those relationships, I've still been isolated. I've still been alone. And I mean alone. I'm a single mom of 2 boys, and I've had to rebuild myself while also being a parent. But I lost my community, my friends, my family, and all the relationships in my life. So I was isolated with 2 little human beings that I had to raise and also rediscover who I am. I had no one texting me, how are you? How are you feeling? Do you need help with anything? No check-ins. I stopped charging my phone. No one texts me. I don't have to charge my phone. Nobody's texting me. Nobody's talking to me. That's how isolated I was, okay? Okay? My phone be as dry as the Sahara Desert. Ain't nobody there. And in those years, it really did feel like punishment. It really felt like I had failed at connections. It felt like I had failed at my craft, at being seen, at being heard, at being valued. I lost my place in the world. I really felt like there was nothing left for me because I didn't belong anywhere. I felt like this is it. I'm just going to be alone forever with 2 tiny humans who are eventually going to grow into adults, and then they're going to leave, and then I'm really going to be alone. However, what I didn't know and what I hope you learn today is that by being alone, by being in this stillness and this peacefulness, this is where you will find who you are again. Maybe this is the first time you'll ever get to discover who you are. Maybe this is the first time that you actually get to sit with yourself in the quiet and the peace. Maybe you've never had that before. It's going to feel really crazy at first. I know, it's scary because you're going to have all these things happening inside your body. But this is exactly where you need to be. So I'm going to ask you, what does being alone bring up for you? What does it bring up? Is it fear? Is it peace? Is it a little bit of both? Is it the fear of the unknown? You don't know who you are and you're rediscovering yourself, right? If you could talk to that version of yourself of being alone, what would you say to them? Say it's future you, okay? And you're having a conversation with future you. What would that version of you who is healed say to you right now? Write it down. Write it down. Take some notes. Write it down. In the quiet, it showed me things I never noticed when I was busy trying to be needed and wanted and liked. I stopped performing. I was performing for everyone else around me. I stopped trying to fit into places and spaces that I actually didn't feel comfortable or I didn't belong. I stopped trying to be perfect around people and I stopped trying to be in spaces and places that I actually felt confined. Like it might have been in an expansive area, but it was just like I felt like I was just confined to restrictions and I had to be liked by every single person in the room. It's okay to not be liked by everybody. It's okay if you're watching this and you're like, damn, I don't like this person. Okay, scroll away. Go. You've already clicked off this video. It's okay to not be liked by everyone. When you stop performing for other people, you actually get to uncover who you truly are. And you get to ask yourself, am I performing for myself? Like, what is this who I truly am? And it's really crazy to actually allow yourself to come into your own authenticity of who you are. We've been role modeled a whole bunch of different people in our life, right? Like we've had all these different people come in since we were born and show us what it's like to be an active participant in the world, in community, in workspaces, in family, in relationships. We've been role modeled these people, and it's up to us to now as adults really pick apart what parts we like, what parts we don't, instead of going through the unconscious programming of just moving in the world and not understanding how we are actually moving in the world. Do you know what I mean? I didn't write that down. It just kind of came to me right now, but it is important to analyze who you are and how you show up in the world. I'm going to share a memory with you because this one is really important. I know I've shared it before, but this is such a pivotal part of my journey, and in that loneliness, this is when it really hit. I remember one night after my divorce and that breakup, that toxic ex-boyfriend that, completely broke me, that we talked about in the last podcast. If you haven't listened, go back and listen to it. My boys were with their dad, and here I am, okay? I sat in complete silence. I sat on my floor. And there was no TV. I never really watched TV anyway, but no TV was on. There was no music. It was just me in silence. I could hear the humming of the electricity in the walls. That's how deafening the silence was. It was me and my thoughts. So many thoughts. So many things going on in my brain. And I ran a bath. I brought a bottle of Josh wine into the tub. I drank it and I cried. Because this was the first time that I felt so utterly alone. Alone. Not just alone physically in the world, but alone and disconnected from myself. I did not know who I was anymore. And that was a really scary place to be. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what thoughts were mine. I didn't know anything about myself. And that's a really scary place to be. I didn't know how to sit with myself without someone else distracting me. And I know that I'm fortunate to have children. However, it's really hard to heal yourself while raising human beings, okay? I want you to understand that I'm not saying that I was completely and utterly isolated all of the time, but without having a partner or someone to pour into, someone to distract me from myself, I did not know how to move in the world. I didn't know how to care and need for myself in relationship, but now outside of caring and nurturing someone else, I didn't know how to do that for myself. So here I am, this turning point and awakening part of my journey. I had to stop chasing the validation and started to value my own presence. I had to start valuing who I am and what I bring into the world and into relationship. And what does that look and feel like? Can you think back to a time when you just sat with yourself? When you just sat, no doom scrolling. Okay, we're going to put social media down. We're going to put your fucking phone down for a second. When was the last time there was no distractions? It was just you and your thoughts. Be for real right now, okay? Hold yourself accountable. And when was the last time you sat down with yourself and asked yourself, what do I need? What do I want? How do I feel? And what would it look like if you did that more often? How would that benefit you going forward? How would future you feel about doing that today? Because today, you are acting and moving in a way for your future self. So what does that look like going forward? I really want you to get real when you're asking yourself these questions, because nobody's coming to do the work for you. Nobody's going to come sit on your floor and dig through the shit with you, okay? You need to pull yourself up. You need to do that work for yourself. Now, if you are stuck in that rut and you can't find a way out, I do have coaching sessions available, link in the bio on my website. It's the only way you can work with me. But I'm telling you, I can only hold you accountable and push you so far. You have to be able to do the work yourself, baby. You have to pull yourself up. I will encourage you and I will sit with you and we will dig through and we will talk about it. But until you get so fucking for real with yourself, it's not going to change. The change happens with you. We're at the point in our journey now. You've sat in it, you've healed, you started feeling a little bit started feeling a bit looser around being alone. You're in it now. You just embraced being alone, okay? We're at this point in the journey. Now we get to redefine what love looks like. What does love look like for yourself, for the world, for relationships? What worth and value do you hold for yourself? This is the part of the journey that can feel a lot more free. And I like this part of the journey because you get to rediscover who you are and you notice people all around you and how they move in the world. But I used to think that love was something you had to earn through sacrifice, being likable and molding to other people what they want, dressing a certain way, moving in a room in a certain way where people are going to notice me that I find attractive. I would be a chameleon. I would literally be able to pick up on the energy in a room and I would use it to my advantage. And this was a tactic that I learned at a very early age. Okay, your girl was raised in foster care. So I learned really young how to manipulate people and how to manipulate a room. And through me being alone, through me not being performative and not being able to feed off of other people, I had to learn who I actually am. And yes, this is a skill and this is a great person connection skill to have, but I no longer use it to manipulate people to like me. Okay, I can read the energy of a room and I can tell if someone is for me and not for me and how much of myself I want to give to that person now. Versus look at me, here's all of my energy to the wrong people, right? I don't care if you like me. I really don't care. And I'm not going to try to manipulate you one way or the other. Either you like me or you don't, and vice versa. It's fine. But the old version of me would crave that connection. No matter who it was, I craved that connection. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in wanting and desiring that, but it's up to you whether or not you want to continue down that path, because you're going to draw in all sorts of crazy fucking people and they're not for you. Is that the love and the connection that you want in your life? Chaos? Not for me. It was at this part of my journey, I really started to question, like, who the fuck am I? Who am I? And I would sit and I would ask, I'd be like, who am I? And I would be like, I don't know. Okay. And then I would check back, like, who am I? I don't know. And that's okay. It's okay not to know. Okay, but continue asking, because that little voice inside of you, you are strengthening your inner voice to the point where you are going to start hearing it. And it's going to say, I am, and it's going to come in. I am love. I am joyful. I am a seeker. I am curious. I am a lover. I am in need of hydration. Like your body and your mind, your body and spirit will always tell you what you need. You just have to listen to it. And we've been so disconnected from ourselves for so long, we don't even know what we need or want or who we are. Listen to it. Strengthen that. I know I've talked about this in previous podcasts, but I really encourage you to start learning to trust yourself. Okay, this is also part of the journey of self-love and being alone and learning to trust yourself. Ask yourself, do I want coffee or tea today? And follow that intuition. Build that trust within yourself. Do I want to wear black or green today? Like, it's such little subtle things, but it'll serve you moving into the bigger parts of your life. Like, what career is good for you? How do you feel when you move into a certain relationship? How do you feel when you are in a room? Are you wanting all of the attention? Like, there's so many different things that are on the grand scheme of things that when you simplify it, as you're starting to learn and trust yourself, it can build into that eventually. That is the goal, to get to the highest point where you just know what you want and what you don't want. Being alone has taught me something really radical. I used to think that love would start when I met someone. Like, I would feel love when I met the perfect human, right? Male or female, it doesn't matter. As soon as I meet the perfect person, that's when love starts. But actually, love starts here. starts with you. I learned what I actually desire is not what looks good online or looks good to other people or what other people expect my life or my love to look like. Those expectations are put upon you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they are for you. I learned that. I learned that what makes me happy doesn't have to make other people happy. I learned that what feels like home in my mind, body, and spirit is far more important than what social media is going to tell me. I learned how to be loved deeply, patiently, consistently, because I gave that love to myself. I've loved myself in that way. And I encourage you to do the same thing. So get your pen out, because here's a great practice, okay? I want you to write down how you want to be loved. Okay, I'm not talking about fucking bubble baths and face masks and like listening to high frequency music. That's all great, and that's probably part of the journey at some point, but I'm not talking about that. Okay, it is real work. I am talking about love, baby, love. How do you consider your wants and your needs? How do you put yourself first? Okay, write it down. Write a note to yourself. Okay, write a letter and write everything. How you enjoy being loved. What does it look like? What does it feel like? How are you showing up for yourself? How are you standing up for yourself in spaces and places? Are you standing up for yourself? Do you say no when you want to say no? Or are you saying yes when something inside you is saying, no, this isn't for me? You're saying yes to opportunities, people, places, things, food. Doesn't matter what it is. Why are you saying yes to that thing? Listen to yourself. How do you want to be loved? How do you take care of your emotional needs? How do you value the gifts that you have and sharing them outwardly into the world? This is layered. This is hard. This part is hard to do because you are sitting with yourself. How would you see yourself? Step outside and third person this shit, because you need to see yourself. You need to know the value that you bring into the world, because no one else is going to see it unless you see it first. And you are going to allow people to mistreat you unless you know your goddamn value. So know it. Know what you need. Know how to love yourself. Write it down. Write a love letter to yourself. Be ooey gooey and delicious, because it feels good. I did this. I still do this. I still write letters to myself when I'm feeling like, poor me. Poor you? Girl, you a baddie. You a baddie. And I write myself a letter. I hype myself up and I'm like, damn girl, I love this for you. Because when it's time for me to be in relationship, when it is time, when this person comes in, you can bet every penny in your bank that this is going to be the right thing for me, because I get to choose it. I get to say yes. I get to say no, and I trust myself. Okay? And I want you to get there too. So sometimes, love can look like, I wrote so many different things down and I'm like skimming through it. But for me, it can look like morning coffee at sunrise. I love it. On my paddleboard in the summer heat in the summertime, watching that sunrise come up over the horizon. Love. I cry. I feel good. That is me loving myself. That's me giving me the gift of life. It could be moving my body and exerting it, running, lifting heavy weights, but then also feeding myself delicious food, making myself meals that are delicious and good and whole, and just, I feel so vibrant and so good. I would want to pour that into another person. So God damn it, I'm pouring that into myself because I value that. So it is more than taking care of what you look like and how you portray yourself outwardly. It's also how you nurture and love yourself internally. Mind, body, and spirit. All of it needs to be loved, baby. Love it all. Eventually, you're going to get to a point where you value your time and you want to draw people in that love themselves, that are capable of communicating and also value their time, right? You want to draw people in that are on the same path as you, that have done the work, because you're going to be able to like meet each other here instead of like up here and like you're trying and it's not working. You are going to be able to draw in more high value people because they value themselves. And I'm not saying that you're not valuable. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? I'm just saying you're going to draw more people in because you are raising yourself up to that point where you're drawing in the people that you desire. This takes time and practice, just like any good, healthy relationship. You have to build it consciously and intentionally. Chase the dreams that you want because it feels good, not because society tells you that is what success looks like. Okay? Follow the beat of your own drum unapologetically, because it does not matter what other people think. Okay? It doesn't matter if they're looking at you thinking that is not the career for you. Caitlin, you sitting in your house filming a podcast that maybe 3 people are going to see is not how you should be spending your time. That's what I say, because this is what I want to be doing with my life. I feel in alignment. I feel good. It feels good in me to share outwardly my story and my experiences and the wisdom that I've gained along my path. I don't give a fuck what other people think. And I want you to get to that point too. Let them judge you. Let them not like you. Let them. Who cares? It's none of your business. Mind your own business. Mind it. Okay? Focus on yourself. Okay, so if you're in this season, we're going to get a little sentimental now. Are you ready? Okay. If you are in this season, I want you to remember that you are not behind. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken because you're not a damn microwave. Okay? You can't be fixed. You can heal. You are not being punished in this season of isolation, but you are being prepared and you are rebuilding. And that is a beautiful thing. This is so beautiful. You are rebuilding a life full of kindness and peace and power and a love that is so deep and runs within you so powerfully that it will shine outwardly into everyone else that you come in contact with. This is a season that will teach you things no relationship outside yourself ever could. So don't rush through it. Let it teach you. Sit in it. Let it teach you things. There's no rush to get to the next relationship. There's no rush to get to the next part of your life. Enjoy this time now, because it's so valuable to be able to sit with yourself. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity sometimes, because you will meet someone. It is inevitable that someone's going to come into your life, and this season is going to be gone. So really love it. Love being with yourself, because you are the greatest gift. You are the greatest and most valuable relationship you will ever have. It's important to also take an opportunity to really think about the type of partner or friend you would like in your life. If you are able to sit in this right now and think about the qualities that matter to you, get really specific about the qualities that you want in a friendship, in a partner, and ask yourself, do I bring that? I want this in someone else, but do I also bring that? I want you to get clear on what you want, okay? So when someone comes in that isn't for you, you see it, okay? You can see it and understand this is not for me. And you're not going to settle in places and spaces and relationships that aren't for you because you've been doing the work, okay? Yeah, we're doing the work now. Now we can say, no, that's not for me. Okay, baby, I want something better. And it's okay. Hold those standards. Hold them to such a high regard, because you will find that person. I promise you. It's inevitable. When you become comfortable with being alone, you don't attach to people who aren't good for you. So there are many people in toxic and traumatic relationships right now because they are so terrified of being alone. And I do not want that to be you or I. So get comfortable with being alone. Just get comfortable with it, okay? Don't be afraid. You are the greatest gift to yourself. Uncover what's in there. Like, come on, dig in on it. I want you to ask yourself, what is it going to take for me to feel worthy of these qualities and standards that you want in a relationship? Because like I said before, you need to become this person. Also, why do you want this person in your life? Why do you want someone in your life? If they're not coming in to amplify your life, if they're not coming in to add value to your life, why do you want this person in your life? They need to be coming in with certain qualities and value in order to be present in your life. I'm hoping you get to that point. That's where I'm at. When you ask these questions, you will find out a lot about yourself and what you're seeking. And you need to be real. Do not hold back. Nobody gets to see what you're writing or thinking besides you. So if you're gonna, hold back from yourself, you're only doing yourself a disservice by doing that. All right, we're almost done. Are you ready? Ready? In closing, we're gonna close this out now, okay? I know that I wasn't alone because something was wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. You are alone. We are alone because something was being born within us. Something is being born within you. Something is coming out. And now that I've learned to show up for myself, I'll never, ever, ever settle again. Ever. And because I am so okay with coming back to being alone, right? We learn to be alone. And then when something's not right for us, it's like, I'm good. I know what it's like to be alone. And I actually really enjoy it. So it's fine. Chaos? No, thank you. Okay? We want to get to that point. This love that I found within is also the love that I'm going to bring into every new connection that I make. And I think that's really beautiful because this person that is coming into my life, these people that are coming into my life get to love the overflow of love I already have for myself. And that is so wonderful because I will not feel depleted. I will not feel like chaotic or like I'm chasing something. It'll just feel like expansive, right? That's what we want. So let me remind you, okay? Take a breath. Let me remind you, if you're sitting in this season, come in here, okay? You are not behind. You are not being punished. You are not forgotten. You are right where you belong. You are here right now, alone with yourself, and that is a beautiful gift. It is. It truly is. I know it's hard. But you're right on time, baby. You are here, and I'm so proud of you. All right, thank you so much for watching this today. I really hope that you're writing and you are feeling inspired to do the work because this is the greatest journey that you could go on. And once you arrive here, oh, it's so good. It's so good. So do the work. Continue loving yourself. Continue, asking and being curious about who the fuck you are and allow it to shine outwardly into the world because we're all waiting to meet the authentic, true version of who you are. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today's podcast. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. I love you. Bye.